Hello, welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video. This one is Spike. This is the second of the Vectrex games that were converted to the Commodore 64 in 2010 by TRSI, or fucking things. You may, if you had an Amiga back in the day, you may recognise TRSI better by the name Red Sector. That was them. So they're more well known for their Amiga like demos, music discs, mega demo, stuff like that, rather than you know, for their actual I'm trying to think of the right word, but actual commercially released actual commercial releases. They didn't really do very many. Most of the time it was all released to the public domain. Anyway, let's get a game underway. Now that may not sound like much today, but I'm pretty sure that this game Spike, when it appeared on the Vectrex, was one of, if not the first games to use digitised speech. There certainly weren't many on the old Atari 2600. So the idea of the game then is to control Spike here and rescue Molly from each of the levels. Now that bad guy that takes her away is Spud. He does appear in some levels, but now you start to get these enemies which you can kick. That bow that I picked up, as you can see, it freezes the enemies for a short while. You can actually control where the ladders appear and move to. You can also, as well as jumping, you can kick the enemies to get rid of them. Now the controls can be a bit fiddly, because if you want to kick, you have to hold down the fire button and then move either left or right to do the actual kicking move. If you want to jump, you have to be holding down the button to move you in the direction and then press fire. So you need to make sure you are doing the right thing before you actually try to either kick or jump, you know, depending on which one you're actually needing to do. And it is easy to get them rather mixed up. Now, as well as moving where the ladders are in order to get up to the various levels, once they're at the top level, you can also change where the cage is that Molly is held in. You can move it to one of three positions. So once you're on the top level, once you have the key, it's not actually that difficult to make sure you're in the right spot. Now, right, there's the key then. I think I've just got an extra life. I really did not want to be getting them freezing there. So now if we move the cage, there we go. It looks like I've just got an extra life. So the game, once you've got to grips with the controls, is really not that difficult. I wouldn't say it was a game aimed at like kids or anything like that. It's a bit more challenging than, you know, a kids game, but it is one that I think is definitely aimed at younger players. Okay, so now everything's starting to move a lot faster. I was rather lucky to get away with that. And that. And that, so there we go. So level 6 done. So graphically, I think the graphics are pretty good. The vector graphics that the old Vectrex used, I think they do look actually, you know, quite impressive. So I do like them. I'm certainly a fan. Oh, bollocks! I'm constantly fucking this level up. Right now, yeah, fucking up here. I really wanted to be down this level. I'm not going to get that in time. Oh, fucking hell. I've got to get that. Oh, bollocks. So as well as the graphics being pretty good, I think the sound is you know, decent enough. I don't think this music was in the original. I think the original, it was just the synthesized speech. I think so anyway, I don't know for sure. So I have actually done better than that before. Yeah. I have made it to level 8 before. Well, let's have one more go. Okay, so I mean, yeah, I think graphically and audibly the game is fine. It is a bit simple, bit simplistic. So I don't think it's going to have you coming back very often to play it over and over again. When it was first released, I'm pretty sure that the digitised speech was its major selling point, and it was the thing that got people, you know, first interested in it. And I suspect that, so even back in the day, back in 82, no actually this was 83 I think when Spike came along, it probably didn't hold the interest for very long. And that's the same today. The game's good enough, but it's not going to have you constantly coming back for more. So I would rate this, I'd rate it 6.5 out of 10. It's, you know, by no means a bad game, but it doesn't have a lot of lastability, and once you've played it, you know, 2 or 3 times, the chances are you become bored with it and won't really feel like playing it anymore. Sounds like I just got an extra life. Okay, now I've got an extra life. So it must be every 10,000 then you get the extra life. Really didn't want that. Darn it, is not quite the word I would use. So hurry up and get the fucking thing. Hurry up. Where's the fucking... oh, there it is. I'll say, fucking hurry up and open it. Sometimes the collision detection around that cage is a bit suspect. But that's the only area where the collision detection isn't so great. Oh, fucking hell, I didn't think I'd hit that. Sometimes you just breeze through the levels, no effort. So here we are on the stage 8. This is the furthest I've ever got. I really did not want to get that thing that stopped everything moving. Fucking hell, and then I bollocked it up. So I've never got off level 8 before, so yeah, I don't hold out much hope here. Oh fuck it, I didn't know I fell right off like that. I think this is my last life then. Oh, I made a right fuck up of that. Well, there you go. That is Spike then, the Commodore 64 conversion of the Vectrex game. I'd say the conversion is superb, and in terms of graphics and audio, it's great. The game is enjoyable enough, but it doesn't really keep you coming back for more, and I suspect you are probably going to get bored with it fairly quickly. But it's worth a look at for the novelty value, if nothing else. So there you go, Spike then, 6.5 out of 10. That brings this review to an end, and we will see you at the next one.